Hey everybody, welcome back to MILF Monday, where we break down this past weekend's fight card. So let's talk about it. Okay, so this weekend we had UFC 313, Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev. And to start off the card, we had, which you'll see up here, we had the early prelims with Jordan Santos and Ozzy Diaz. This fight looked like it was going to be a boring fight, and then they just popped off. It was going to be fight of the night until the co-main event happened, but more on that later. So this was a first round decision, or I'm sorry, not first round decision. This was the first fight that went to a decision. And it was a really good fight, back and forth fight. Both guys looked like they could have won multiple times, and at the end of the fight, either guy also could have won. Like, it was obviously leaning more towards Diaz, just the way that the third had ended. But, I mean, I don't think anybody's arguing that it wasn't a great fight. Next, we had Marion Santos versus Francis Marshall. I had Francis Marshall winning this one in my pre-fight picks, and he should have won this one. This is probably the worst decision that I've ever seen. There's been some really bad decisions, and this is, as of late, the most recent one that was just a fucking terrible decision. Santos very clearly lost 2 out of 3 rounds, and there's an argument that he lost all 3. And a very good argument at that, too. I don't think one person sees what the judges saw to give it a split decision for Santos. This was a stupid decision, and that judge should be fired. Next, we had Alex Morano versus Carlos Leal. Carlos Leal just put on a clinic, and Alex Morano, he's a tough dude, and Carlos Leal just pounded on him. Until he couldn't take it anymore, and by the end of the first round, he was out of there. Keith Peterson even gave him like a lot of leeway too. He gave him quite a bit of chances. After that, we had Bruno Ferreira and Armen Petrosyan. Honestly, after this fight, fuck Armen Petrosyan, dude. This guy faked being hurt like twice, and he didn't even make it all 3 rounds. The guy was gassed. I mean, I don't know. Thank God he got submitted. I guess if he got knocked out, I wouldn't be upset either. But I don't know. This fight made me lose a lot of respect for him. Props to Bruno Ferreira just kind of dealing with it and going with it. And then I think Petrosyan also had 2 bad hits on Ferreira. I forget if it was that fight or a different one. But either way, Petrosyan, it was just a kind of a fight for him all around. After that, topping off the prelims, we had Joshua Van versus Ray Saira. I thought Ray Saira was going to win, and Joshua Van just came out and just pulled it off. He stopped almost every takedown. When he did get taken down, he got right back up. He had good standing game. He did great against him. Like, he kind of made Saira know that, hey, like, UFC's on a different level. Like, you're not just going to come here and you're not just going to come here and think it's easy, because it's not going to be. Moving into our main card, we had Bobby King Green versus Mauricio Rufy, and oh man, that spinning wheel kick was nuts. I like Bobby Green, so I had him winning, but I thought it was at least going to go to round 2, and wow, Rufy stunned him, and with that wheelhouse kick, he stunned him earlier in the round, and then he got the wheelhouse kick right across his freaking head, dude. That was nuts. It was one of the best knockouts I've ever seen, and it's already in contention for knockout of the year for sure. I'm keeping a list actually of all the great knockouts this year, and then I'll go back at the end of the year and go back through them and rewatch the knockout and then vote from there. So I think that'll be pretty fun to do. But yeah, poor Bobby Green, man. I think he's on like a 3 or 4 fights again now. Maybe only 2, but 2 for sure, and then I think 3 or 4. But I mean, it is what it is. He likes to fight. He likes to go in and brawl, and he is not one to make excuses. He says, "Hey man, stuff happens." I believe Rufy, did he call out Beneil Dariush? I want to say he did, but he did call somebody out, and I think whoever he called out, I think it's Beneil Dariush. I think it'll be a good fight. He also got performance of the night, so that's a good bonus. I think they don't have knockouts of the nights anymore. I wish that they had knockouts of the night still, and he would have gotten that too. Next up, we had Amanda Lemos versus Yasmin Lucindo. This fight sucked. This was so boring. It put me to sleep. This fight should have been the main fight on the prelims, maybe. Like, I don't know. Both these girls needed to put more oomph and some more pep in their step because, oh my gosh, I was just watching it, sitting there just nodding off. It was so boring. Amanda Lemos won by decision. Yeah, not much to say about this fight other than it sucked. They called the fight early, so like it goes to show like how bad it was. After that, we had Jalen Turner versus Ignacio Bahamondes. Bahamondes submitted him in the first round. It was honestly kind of surprising. Jalen was doing well and on the stand-up and the ground game, and then he just pulled out a submission. I believe it was a triangle, and that triangle was tight. So poor Jalen Turner, I think because he's lost a significant amount in a row, he is retiring. He said he was going to, and then he ended up not putting his gloves down, but his gloves were off, and it looked like people were trying to talk him out of it, I guess, when they were leaving the cage. So we'll see what happens. He's only 29. There's plenty of time to make a comeback or change to a different weight class or something like that. So I don't think he should give up just yet. I mean, he's number 13 out of the best in the world. So I think it's a little too early to give up. But also, if you're not feeling it, you're not feeling it. So nothing against him if he decides to retire. Also, Ignacio Bahamondes got performance of the night. Good for him. I think if they were going to do that, they should have had him have performance of the night and then Rufy knockout of the night, but it's whatever. Going into our co-main event, we had Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev. A lot on this fight. So it was a decision. It was a really good fight, though. It was much better than I thought it was going to be. It wasn't as entertaining as their first one, I will say, because they each had less time to train. But Fiziev came out and had a completely different game plan than last time, and Justin had to adapt to that, and he did it well. So a lot of heavy hits. His chin stood up. I even said, I think during my watch along and in the week and earlier in the week, that this would be a true testament to see if his chin will still hold up or if just subconsciously his brain just tells him no. And it can. Fiziev got some solid hits on him, and he just kept pushing through. So good for him. Afterwards in the post-fight show, they were talking about, okay, what's next? Like, does he do the 155 title against Islam? Does he fight Ilya to see who fights the title then? Who would rather see Justin and Ilya versus Justin and Islam? They were talking about all these things, and all of them revolved around Ilya Topuria, which is why in the short that I made when the hooker fell out a couple weeks ago, that's why I said put Ilya in instead of Fiziev. Nobody really wanted to see this fight. It was a good fight, thank God. Nobody wants to see it because A, they already did it, and B, you have Ilya stepping in, and if this guy says he'll fight anybody, anytime, anywhere, step him in on the short fight notice. After the fight, everybody was talking about him fighting anyways. So why wouldn't you just speed up the inevitable, give him a fight to keep him busy during this whole Ramadan garbage that Islam's going through? I'm sorry, it's not garbage, but there's less fighters to fight, so that's why it's garbage. Garbage in the fight world. So have Ilya step in instead of Fiziev, like I'm showing right here, and then that keeps him active. And then if he wins and proves, hey, I can last in the division. If you say he won by knockout, that would get people saying then, does Justin's chin not hold up, or is Ilya just that strong? There would be so many things that would have made this fight night so much better, and it was already a pretty good fight night. But if Ilya was there, it would have been so much better. And then if Justin won, then guess what? Okay, then there's no question. Justin will fight for the belt. Ilya can take a break then. That's his fault for leaving 145 then. Maybe he shouldn't have stepped up and thought he can handle it when he can't. And that's a big if. So, again, I believe I was right. Some would say you're crazy. He's only going to fight for titles. Well, it looks like he might not even fight for a title anyway. So what's he going to do? Sit out for an entire year now? That's useless and stupid. He should have been the one to fight Justin. I stand by that, and I will always stand by that. And when it happens again, I'm going to call it out again. But either way, good for Justin Gaethje. You got a fight of the night as well with Fiziev, which was well-deserved. If not for this fight, that first fight would have gotten it on the early prelims. But Justin Gaethje, fun fact, also is 14-14 in fight night bonuses. He said 14 fights in the UFC, and every single fight has been a bonus, whether it be knockout, performance, or fight of the night. So good for him. Next, we have Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev. This fight was not as entertaining as I thought it was going to be, I'm sad to say. But at the same time, Ankalaev went for 12 takedowns, and he didn't land any of them. So good for Pereira. He shows that he has takedown defense and that he can, he did run away a little bit, but just to kind of slip out of it. But he showed great strength in his takedown defense. The biggest thing was that Ankalaev had him up against the cage for so long, so many times. And it was just kind of boring when it got to that part of the fight. And Alex, it looked like he was almost tired. Maybe Ankalaev was just much more of a challenge than he had anticipated. Or maybe he was feeling sick or something. I don't know, but it looked like his heart wasn't in it in this fight. And I'm not saying that it isn't. Just the way that it looked on screen. But so he lost. I do think he won. It was a very close fight. It came down to round 3. Round 3 was the most split of the rounds. So I gave Alex 1, 3, and 5. 3 just by a smidge, and then Ankalaev 2 and 4. I'm not upset about the result because they're just going to do an immediate rematch anyways. Alex has done so much in such a short amount of time, and he's been active and he's been there for the UFC. The UFC is going to give it right back to him. What this does, though, this is a huge setback in the heavyweight division because I bet everybody was betting on Alex winning, stepping up to heavyweight and then fighting Tom Aspinall to then fight John Jones if he beat Tom Aspinall, or vice versa. Now, heavyweight's division still on pause because John Jones doesn't not want to fight. I'm not going to say he doesn't want to fight, but he wants what he said. He wants that fuck you money. And if they're not going to give it to him, then he's not going to fight. So the UFC has two decisions to make. Give John Jones his money so he fights Aspinall and we all shut up and we all get that fight. Or they strip him of the belt and he can come back if he wants to at a later date and strip the belt and put Aspinall versus Pereira. Still have Pereira move up to heavyweight anyways. Keep Ankalaev there. Let Ankalaev have his run at light heavyweight and move Alex up anyways and offer Alex a title shot. I believe Chael Sonnen lost the middleweight title belt and then was offered a light heavyweight title challenge immediately after against John Jones. So even losing a title fight can still get you a title fight to a certain degree. So I think that's what they should do if they're going to strip Jones. But we'll see what happens. At the end of the day, I was disappointed by this main event, but the rest of the card stacked up pretty well. There was problems with ESPN Plus. I guess people were buying it twice and whatnot. Luckily, I didn't have that problem. But yeah, so that's it. Thanks for watching this MILF Monday episode. I believe this is episode 8. I'll be back next week after the UFC fight night with Vittori and Delice, and I'll see you guys in the next video.